So yeah, hello everyone. Welcome back to our level 2 video of building and web dynamic web project using JSP and servlets. Today in this video, you are going to see how exactly a domain name search lookup looks like. So in our level 1, we didn't touch any about some whole data about or else like an whole application part. But here in this level of video, we are going to include some points of APIs called as application program interface, where you people can get the data from original servers. Okay. And let me give a detailed description of what exactly it is. So the softwares need to install for this whole setup is like the same Eclipse ideally and the Apache Tomcat server, what we have discussed in our previous video. And in addition to them, we need to have a Gson library. This is the library that is used to retrieve the data from the in the form of JSON format into an understandable way of representing the data. Okay. And I will show you how we can download this and add to our project. And the project folder setup is the same of what we have followed for the previous version of currency converter. Here we need to develop the dynamic web project. So let's start off building our project. Navigating to new, where you are having an option of dynamic web project. So here I'm giving a name of my project as DNS Lookup. Okay. Yeah. Or else I can say DNS search. Then click on next, and generate. And let me generate my web.xml file. So we are done with our first step. Okay. Yeah, the second step would be of creating our JSP file. Let's see where our project actually set up. Yeah, here is it. Just right click on it and let's create our first JSP file in it. I'm just giving the name. I'm giving the same name of new file.jsp, or you want, you can say change that name as well. Yeah, as I have mentioned, this JSP file is nothing but an Java service page that is actually holding our front-end logic. By this is what the user experience. This is what the front-end part, and that a user can experience, the user can see from where our logic of calling a servlet and its data is all happening. So for this, we need to develop this whole setup of JSP file with a neat front end part. Done. So as I have already discussed, we are having lots of technologies in it, but for that I am using the technology of bootstrap, and I'm having a basic template here. I'm just copying of updated version of bootstrap, and if you want, you can include any technology you want, like the tailwind css and all you can use. Okay, so I'm giving a name of DNS lookup, and I have included some css link as well as the javascript link for my bootstrap features. Okay, and let's proceed of creating our JSP file inside our first front end part. Okay, so let's proceed of creating our JSP file in it. So I want to give in a class for my body as something like I want to give my body as blight of padding 5 for exact representation of my structure of this whole setup of DNS lookup. And I'm considering NDIV block that is having a space of container where I can include my whole data in it. Let's say a container inside. Okay. So this DIV block is considering another DIV in it of class. As we all seen the step-by-step implementation of it, I was just going with an forwarded version, so you can follow. That's not an issue. I'm just considering the justify content to the center part. So this what a card. We are having lots of cards and representation, and let me show you how exactly this card also looks. Okay, let's open Chrome and type bootstrap. Okay, and in the components you can see a name called cards. Okay, so why I am dealing with these cards is like, yeah, this is the here we are having a simple card, right? Here the user is giving some text. It is representing in a card of specialized structure. This is what I want in the same of my front end part. So I was just considering this class of this class called the card. Okay, let me just copy this code and paste it here in my div block. Okay, yeah, it's done. So let's remove this and enter our part of code inside it. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Let's start with giving the heading of our system. I'm giving the heading. Let's call the class as well for this. Let's say I'm taking the card, right? I'm giving the title for my card. The card title of DNS lookup. Exactly, this lookup is in the sense we are dealing with. So the user is giving some domain name in our card, so that is transferred to our servlet file where it is going to be validated. From there, we can retrieve our IP address of that domain. This is what the whole project implementation and the idea. Okay, so inside this, let's consider our main implementation of form that is having some main attributes of action as well as a method for it. Okay, so hope you all guys have remembered in our prerequisites. If not, get back to our level 1 videos where you can see the detailed description of what exactly this action and method. So these are the two attributes in our form that we are going to consider. So the user can enter his data in our front end part, is his interface part that is going to be validated under a particular technology. Here you can enter some vast amount of technologies. Here we are considering a JSP as well as an servlet example. So the data what the user is going to enter is getting to a servlet from where the API is giving you some response in the JSON format. It has to be retrieved. Okay. So yeah, let's enter some details for my form. Yeah, let's consider a DAV block as well. At the class, okay, yeah, I'm going to give a bottom of margin for it inside it. Yeah, let's create the label for it. It's done. So we are going to give a label name. So we are asking the user to enter a domain. So for what we are preparing this label is like for my domain name search. Okay. And the class for it is like it's my form label, right? So form label done. So the user can enter some data in it. For that, we need to consider input type text. Okay. And let's add some placeholder as well. So our front end looks much more effective. Okay. Let's give a ID as the same name of our class name, right? We are creating this entire domain label for a name called DOMAN. So I was just entering the same ID here. So it's like acting like a map function. So this what exactly our input is mapping to our label what we have created now. Okay. Mm, yeah, and let's give a name as well, which is of same. Yeah, there we go. And let's add a placeholder for it. Like a user needs to enter a domain name like dot example.com, or else what exactly he wants he can write. Okay. Yeah, let's check it out of running it. And selecting this Tomcat is also main. I have already installed in our level 1 video. Go with the detailed description again. And if not, you can contact by just commenting the below section, and we can help you at any point of time. Okay. Yeah. This is how our setup look like. So user can enter a data here from where we can validate that information. Okay. This looks good, but it's not appropriate, I think. Let's add some more properties to it. And yeah, actually we lost something, right? Okay. Let's just copy it. Let's copy it good and place it inside our div here. Okay. And let's save it back again. And inside it, let's create another block for my button. Okay, which is of type submit. Okay, so user need to submit the data as well, right? I'm just creating a button of type submit. Let's add some color to it of button property btn primary. Let's add btn primary. Okay, of class button, right? That's what we have considered. Btn space btn primaries, that will give an good color for it. Okay, and yeah, let's give some name as well. Lookup for my DNS. This is what the command we are giving. Okay, so let's save this file. Let's save this file and run it again. Okay. So we have done with all the changes, and now it looks good. Okay. And here we have entered something and it's not retrieving, right? So on our next step of creating it would be our servlet location. So the servlet creation is also a main part of creating any dynamic web project actually. So when the user has entered some data form fields in our JSP file, this has to be entered into a servlet where exactly an API is calling the data, and from that API, so the user is giving some additional name. For example, if we consider a dictionary app, we can enter some words. If we entered a word, we will get the definitions of what exactly it is. And for our example, we have entered some domain name with an extension of .com. For that, I'm having lots of fields, but I was just considering an IP address here. So this is for this whole process of retrieving exact data is all depends upon creating a servlet. Okay, and let's start off creating servlet to our project. So I was just right clicking on it, new, and simply select servlet. So as I have mentioned, the name, class name, what we are giving is the main part. I was just giving DNS So like that. Next, yeah, next, and I was just unchecking the constructors from super class and click on finish. So it has created an servlet path of required imports for my servlet action. So let me call this name here in my form action, what I have called. Okay. And our name is DNN SRCH and my method name is post. And let's run it again on the server. And let's check if the data is serving to my servlet or not. I mean the calling. Serving is in the sense it's calling. Is my data is calling to my servlet or not? Is my whole process. Yeah, it is calling to my servlet. Now let's get back to the initial stage or its initial process of creating a logic inside in it. Okay. Yeah, let's start up importing our main logic of getting the parameter using a print writer. Import java dot io dot print writer. Yeah. So by using this, we can get parameter value here. For that, we need to call our, yeah, anyways, we are called our do post method, right? Here we have mentioned a post method. This is what the main point of recognizing something. So you are posting the data to an API servlet. So from where you are getting the actual information of the exact data of what we are giving to it. Okay. So the we are, anyways, upon creation of the servlet, you will get an do post method as well as an do get method. E do post and e do get methods use చేయటం వల్లనే మన సర్వ్లెట్ అండ్ జేఎస్పీ కాలింగ్ అనేది కరెక్ట్ గా వర్క్ అవుతుంది. ఎనీవేస్ యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ సమ్ అదర్ జేఎస్పీ ఫైల్ ఫర్ యువర్ రిజల్టింగ్ డేటా యాజ్ వెల్. అందులో ఆ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ నాట్ యూజింగ్ జేఎస్పీ నాట్ యూజింగ్ ఎ సర్వ్లెట్ అనేది కాదు, బట్ the main intention is like the JSP needs to call the servlet data where my actual API link is storing. Okay, that's what the main intention of creating this level 2 projects of JSP and servlets using an application program interface. Done. And let's call our print writer statement here. So I was just typing print writer where we can call it. Anyways, we have already import, right? Imported it. Print writer name pw, and this is a response. This is the response value of get writer. Okay. Okay. That's it. So we have completed importing this print writer statements. So yeah, actually this is also in caps. Yeah, that's it. So we are done with calling our print writer statements. So here we need to call an exception. So if at all if the entered domain is not there in our API, then the data will be corrupted, right? So if I directly write the whole statement of considering the responses and all, it will be tough. For that, I thought of creating an caught exception, try and catch block, which you can learn it in your core Java itself. The main intention of using this try and catch is like it's a family of caughting exceptions. So in if the try block is not able to retrieve the information, then this catch block will help you for doing the part, as well as it helps you to move your data. Okay. So for that, I am considering this try and catch blocks for my representation. So let me just proceed with the logic. So I'm having some, so the user will enter a domain of string data type anyways. So this will be get from the user, right? So I was just writing request dot get parameter, which is of string data type. And yeah, this is of string data type request.get parameter, and inside this, so the user is entering a domain name, right? So here the user is entering a domain name. So that's what I have called here. So I have called a data type of string of domain, which is of it's a get parameter request of name, labeled name of domain. And then, and let's proceed. Yeah, for this string calling also we need to import some. Yes, in IO, we are having lots of importing statements actually. Let me just write it down all at once so there is no problem of getting an errors in our code. And in this, inside our IO, we are having input buffered stream as well. Input stream reader. Okay. Input stream reader, and let's paste it again. And we are having in our own IO only, we are having buffered reader as well. Buffered reader. We are having buffered reader. And anyways, you are using this HTTP servlet links, right? Import java.net HTTP URL connection. I'm going to represent what exactly this HTTP URL connection is. Okay. So with all, we have imported the required IO blocks, I guess. If not, we'll include in inside this net, this import java.net. Apart from IO, we are having another main feature of our application program interface link called as URL selectivity. So I can import some URL nature as well here. Okay, done. So let's just proceed with the next statements here. Yeah. So I'm defining a string name of API URL. Okay. So the from here we are having lots of public links actually. You can type it in your browser as well. Public APIs for domain name search. Okay, so you will be having some lots of links where you can navigate and you can collect some lots of names. There you will get some data of JSON format. So our intention is like, anyways, we also retrieve the JSON format data as well, but the main intention is like the user needs to understand what exactly we are doing. Okay, the data what we are retrieving from these APIs are purely an JSON formatted type where they are stored in an array. So the traversing of array is a main part. So before knowing what to do, you need to thorough with the basics of what exactly is Java arrays, strings, and all. And the whole setup process of level 1 video needs to be perfect. That's what that's what I can say. Okay. Yeah, let's get back to our work. So here I'm going to consider my a perfect link here, what I have considered from the Google server itself. It's a public API where I can get the domain names of many servers and many more details. And you can see upon doing our whole logic, you will get to know what exactly I'm doing. Okay, so please carefully see what it is. So I'm defining an URL type here of I'm giving a name called URL and defining or else just giving a new location of it of what my original named API URL. Okay, I was just calling and paste it here. Done. So the creation of my URL location is done. So we have import this URL and HTTP because of these steps. Hope you get why we have incorporated this HTTP connection with our URL. Okay. So I'm defining this HTTP URL connection with a name called connection. What this do is in the sense it is taking HTTP URL connection. You see, yeah, it is taking the HTTP URL connection with URL extended point of my open connection. So I'm giving that. So actually, this is an public API. I'm getting the responses from the public API itself. So I can enter as many domains I can, and I can retrieve its own IP address from my API. So this API is more over like an interface. Actually, we are having lots of databases, and in anyways we are not going to consider the protected APIs. We are just considering the public APIs, what we are known and what we can take. The available only we can consider, right? Anyways, we are not going to hack the whole Facebook అనే యాప్ని మనం డైరెక్ట్గా హ్యాక్ చేసుకోలేం. ఆర్ ఎస్ ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ అనే దాంట్లో అసలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి బ్రాడ్బ్యాండ్ అవుతుంది సర్వీస్ అనే ఒక ఐపీ అడ్రస్ని మనం డైరెక్ట్గా తీసుకోలేం. సో ఐ వాస్ జస్ట్ కన్సిడరింగ్ సమ్ local locations, local data of what Google has given me. Anyways, you can consider a different API as well. That's not a problem. The difference will be like the IP address will get changed definitely. Anyways, we are just getting the dummy data. We are not going to get the exact address of what exactly the domain is. Okay. Yeah. Let's proceed with our code. So this API will give you some responses. If my response code, we are having lots of response codes. If possible, you can have a note of them as well. If the code is 403, I can say the file is not found. Hope you also know this codes, values and all. If not, have a look and get write it on notes. So get you can get some idea of what exactly it is. So I'm getting an response code. Okay. I will have defined an integer value of response code. If it is sysout control space, I'm getting system.out.println. Let me just print you the response code of it. Let me just print the response code. Okay. So I am taking this connectivity from, so in this connection, it is directly connected to my URL. So if my given public API is giving me some response, so I can retrieve that response code as well, right? So anyways, I have given with a data type of integer. So I'm getting an integer code of my response. If that response code is 200, if that response code is 200, I can say that my application is retrieving the data successfully. If not, if the other code has come, definitely it's a blunder. If you are getting a response code of 200, I can say my file is giving the response correctly. So for that, I have been taking a buffered reader. Yeah, I'm considering a buffered reader here. As I have mentioned, if my response code if my response code is 200, if my response code is 200, I can say my application is working perfectly. My application is running perfectly. This buffered reader. Okay. Yeah, the name of this what we have given here. Let's just, yeah, you can directly call buffered reader. Let's give some location to it. Buffered You can write the buffered reader statement. You can call new input. You can call new input stream reader. So this is getting we are getting the data from connection dot get input stream. Done. So yeah, let me just you explain what I have done. So I'm getting if the response code is 200, I can say my connection is successful. It is getting connected successfully. It is getting connected successfully. That's what I can say, right? Yeah, there's a spelling mistake here. Input stream reader, I guess. Okay, okay. If not, it has not connected, good. Then I need to mention my else clause as well. From there, Control C and just paste it here. A new buffer reader. I'm getting an input stream, right? There I'm getting an input stream, but here I can get an error stream. Okay, that's what the main difference here. So here I can get an error stream. If the response code is 200, I can say my code is entered successfully and it is working perfectly. It is connected perfectly. If not, I will get an error statement here. That's what it is representing here. And let's get back to our main logic of string builder. Okay. So I'm getting a JSON response as I have mentioned previously. My JSON response is what I'm printing now. So my link has gone into this URL successfully and the API is responding. That response need to be printed, right? So what exactly it is printing is in the format of JSON format as I have mentioned earlier. Let me just print that JSON format of same string builder version of same string builder version. And yeah, let's consider under string of variable line. Okay, so while this statement called line, so I just inserting this buffered reader inside to it. Okay, this buffered reader is getting a statement from the user is not null. That's what the main intention of using this third variable. So I have considered some third variable called line, and and I am assigning my null value to it. Okay, if it is not null, then I can get my JSON response and I can print it. Okay, so let's just call an append line. Okay, so it is not a null statement. I'm getting a response, and that response needs to be included here. Okay, yeah, there is no space and single column. Done. Okay, so while it's not null, I'm printing the statement. And next, sysout control space and my API response. JSON format లో ఉన్న API response ని ప్రింట్ చేసుకున్నా. ఓకే, దేంట్లో స్టోర్ చేసుకున్నాను? నా JSON రెస్పాన్స్ అనే వేరియబుల్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, స్టోర్ చేసుకున్నాను. దిస్ ఇస్ వాట్ మై వేరియబుల్ కదా, JSON రెస్పాన్స్. That's what I'm printing. So ఇది in human understandable way. Anyways, the JSON format will be like an array format. So ఆ array format ను represent చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటున్నప్పుడు you need to convert it into a string. Okay, And yeah, before entering into the main logic, I want to mention some few points actually. So this JSON format is not in a position like we can't understand what exactly it is. Let me show you using the PPT. Yeah, let's observe this flow of execution first. So the user is entering some his domain names in my JSP. From JSP, it is giving our message to an API, what I have considered and what we have considered in the public APIs. So this APIs is giving the logic what it is required is it is retrieving అంటే ఏపీఐ ఏదైతే కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటుందో బయటకు వస్తున్న జేసన్ ఫార్మాట్ ని సర్వ్లెట్ కి ఇస్తుంది. ఈ సర్వ్లెట్ కి ఇస్తున్న డేటా జేసన్ ఫార్మాట్ లో ఉంది. సో ఇప్పుడు ఆ జేసన్ ఫార్మాట్ లో ఉన్న డేటాని మళ్ళీ మన హ్యూమన్ అండర్స్టాండబుల్ వేలో కన్వర్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే we need to use a library called Gson. Okay, and I will show you what exactly is Gson as well. uh, yeah, actually this Gson library, let's download it first and let me show you. Yeah, you can download this Gson library jars. We are having lots of versions, right? So we can download this jar file. Here you can have an option to download it. Let me just download it first. యాక్చువల్గా ఈ జీసన్ లైబ్రరీ అనేది ఏం చేస్తుందంటే ఏదైతే మన అండర్స్టాండబుల్ వేలో ఉన్నదో దాన్ని హ్యూమన్ అండర్స్టాండబుల్ వేలోకి కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తుంది. అండ్ ఇట్ హెస్ బీన్ డౌన్లోడెడ్. It helps you to create some objects to retrieve that data inside that arrays. అంటే JSON ఫార్మాట్ లో ఏదైతే అరేలో స్టోర్ అయి ఉందో దానికి ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ని క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను నేను. ఆబ్జెక్ట్ లో నుంచి ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ కన్సిడరింగ్ ద నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. Okay, let me just extract over here. Okay, I'm extracting the files inside it, and inside it I'm having this Gson 2.8. Okay, let me just cut it and let's create an library. Yeah, inside this we can create an library. Okay. Yeah, wait. New, let's call a folder. Let's give a folder name as library, and inside this let me just paste what ఇందాక మనం కన్సిడర్ చేసుకున్న ఈ జీసన్ జార్ ఫైల్ ని ఇందులో యాడ్ చేసాం. సో ఈ జీసన్ ఫైల్స్ అన్నిట్లో ఇందులో యాడ్ చేసుకున్నాం అనుకుంటే కనుక వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ సమ్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఇంపోర్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ వాట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఆల్రెడీ కన్సిడర్డ్ ఓవర్ హియర్. Let me just copy them. So if you are using this import statement is in the sense you must have that data. Anyways, I am getting an error right here. This error can be removed when you are using this JSON library inside your path of code, and these errors will get removed. Okay. Yeah. So let's just proceed with our own logic. Yeah, you can see the notation change here, right? So by just adding the JSON jar, you will get the exact view of your application. So so your application is now under dumped into an JSON format. So now you need to retrieve the data. For before that, you need to create some objects for it. Okay. So let's just call JSON type JSON. Okay. JSON is equal to new JSON. I am just creating an object. So let's just create an object for my JSON calling as well. Okay. JSON object. I'm just giving you. This is my response object, right? So I'm having this JSON dot from JSON elements. In terms of null and null, I can actually call some data. what is the data is in the sense it is getting the data of JSON response. JSON response is one value there where we need to convert it into a string, comma with JSON object. Okay. Yeah, this JSON object dot class. Hmm. Yeah, let's see what it is representing here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. To some extent, actually our code is done. Now we are retrieving the data. Anyways, you need to call an exception, I think here. Let's call an exception e variable e. Okay. And yeah, what the exception we are getting here is in the sense. Okay, let's first run our JSP file now, and let's see if the API is giving me the response or not. Okay. Yeah, here I can enter as many domain names as you wish, but actually the result is not displaying here, but actually it is displaying where in our server you can see, if you are able to see, highlight, you can see the highlighted portion of what I am scrolling, right? So this blue lines is what our data is retrieving from our API. So my API is giving me a response code of 200 as I have mentioned before. So if my response code is 200, you can start building your buffer statement. You can take that input stream inside your API and you will get that data. What exactly your data? I'm considering a string line here. I'm converting anyways. I'm converting into dot to string here using an to string method. But now our data is entering into our API. I'm getting a 200 code and our data is entering into our API and it is giving some response. And I'm having two array objects here. One is for my question, what I have asked in my domain name search, and the answer, what my API is giving. Okay. So this is what the answer it is giving. It is giving some API address of this broadbanding of Netflix. Now let's create a setup and display setup for it so we can get to know what exactly it is. Okay. And yeah, anyways, I have a prototype code of it, you can see here if you want, and let's write a logic inside for it, and let me just paste it over here. I'm not doing much, but I'm considering an HTML file here using the bootstrap documentation where we can enter our logic of having some data for it. Okay. You are having this JSON arrays of answers, right? Here in these answers, here in this answer, I'm having this IP address. So this traversing of array needs to be included. So the difference between the JSP and the normal traditional HTML is like you can enter, we can enter only the HTML files in our in our traditional HTML. But in JSP, you can write the parts of Java codes in between it, in between it also. Okay. I'm having an JSON answers object here. I was just creating the JSON array answers. JSON array. I was just creating a JSON array for my answers traversing. I was just creating a JSON array of answers traversing of response. Let of response object, which is a response object. Okay. Let's so this get has JSON array. Anyways, it is giving me set. So what my name in my JSON arrays, I am having this answers, right? In my JSON arrays, I am considering this answers block. Let's just copy it and paste it here. So I'm traversing inside my JSON array. Now, if my answers dot size, if my answer dot size is greater than 0, if the size of my answered array is greater than 0, I can write print writer statement of pw dot print. I can write print ln. It's better to create a table for it, I think. Let's create a table. It's look good if we consider a table tag. Okay. So we are considering a table inside our block. Let's keep a class for it. In our bootstrap, we are having lots of the class contents. That's what the main intention of using the bootstrap as well. So inside this, I'm having an table ordered class. I'm having a table bordered. This table bordered and my table is stripped. What exactly this strip nature is, in the sense that color will get vary from one layer to the another layer. Okay. So yeah, actually class. Okay. And it has to be inside my print ln block. So observe carefully when you are writing, okay? But it is defining something, right? So you need to be careful of something when you are writing in your servlet or else JSP. Once you have written, you can make use of it as n number of times. You can make use, or else now I want to create a table heading. I can directly call table heading is, I can call it by just calling t head. Okay. So I was just giving this class as well for my table class. Head dark. I'm giving a dark color for my heading block. Okay. I'm just giving a dark color for my heading block. And I'm having some rows. TR, that is again representing an TH. In my TR, I'm having a first view of record. Okay. First view from a record type. What exactly this record type is, in the sense my type, what I'm having, this type 1, type 2 and all, this is what my record data. Okay. And it's a record type and the table heading is closed. Okay. The table heading is closed and the next heading would be my data. If I'm not wrong, I'm having record type as well as a record data. Okay. This record data is also an view of our table. So I'm just closing my row as well. And I need to close the head block. The head block is closed and my open T body is also need to be open the body. Let's open the body tag of the body. Now I'm opening an body structure here. So inside this, I'm traversing into my array for JSON element. For my JSON element, I'm just having a JSON element view. I'm just having a JSON element view of for each. I'm using the enhanced for loop of for each. Okay. So my JSON element is traversing inside answers. So I'm having this answers here, right? So my JSON element is traversing inside each of it. So for each JSON arrays, for my each JSON arrays of answers, it has to be traversed, and I'm creating an object for it. My JSON object and my JSON object record of a JSON element. Okay, so you can make use of this directly. JSON element. Okay, and JSON element. Yeah, JSON element dot get as JSON object. That's it. So now I'm having two types, right? One is my recorded type as well as my record data. If I'm not wrong, I'm having two types. That's what they are the two fields, right? We are retrieving record type as well as my recorded data. Hey, where they are storing is in the sense record dot get. So for my type, I'm having this type where, yeah, this type variable. Okay, I'm just entering the type there and dot get as string. Okay, so following the same, now I'm getting this record dot, and this record dot is in the sense I'm just appending my values, right? So upon completion of data, so the type is get it added as well as now I need to enter data as well. Let's enter this data here and saying get as string. Okay, hope you are getting what I am saying. So inside this, let's have some and pw dot print ln. You need to have some patience when you are dealing with some application. You need to have some patience. Follow the notation, then don't get confused. And if you are following any trouble, you can get back to us at any point of time. We are there for you. Okay. So there I am opening my table row. I'm adding this data for it. What I'm adding is in the sense my record type is one field. I'm adding this record type as one field, and one more would be let's see, yeah, one more would be let's close the table data. So one data would be my record type, and another would be my another. Let's open another TD here, and for second data, okay. For this, I can consider my recorded data. Anyways, they are not fixed to add directly, right? So we are just using these object statements for creating that block. Okay. Same, I need to close my data as well as my row. That's it. Okay. Actually, it's small. Yeah. So I'm appending my data over it. So what it is representing is I have created a JSON object using my Gson library that is making my statements to overturn as the program progress. It helps me to do well. Okay, that's what the main intention of doing this print statements and all. Upon completion of this, yeah, let's close my table pw dot print ln. Let's just close my table inside here. What we have opened are we need to close, right? Some tags, the body needs to be closed as well as my table main tag needs to be closed. That's it. And now if at all the data is not there, if the answer size is 0 only, it is entering into this loop, right? So if the answer size is 0, I need to print some error statement. So it's not giving me the exact answer. is what I need to print inside this class. So I'm having a paragraph of, so I'm just considering a paragraph class here. Place the semicolon. So, yeah, of alert for red color indication, and it is an alert warning of alert warning that representing there is no search for DNS what you are looking for. Let's give it as no DNS record available for your data, or else no record found for the data. No record is founded for the data or for the domain. Okay, let's close the paragraph tag as well. So now we can make use of this as a perfect application, and now we can make it use as an application, right? So we started with of nothing where the path of creating any JSP is there, but upon retrieving the exact response from the API, now we are having a view, right? So ఇప్పుడు ఆన్సర్స్ అనే అరేలోకి వెళ్ళాలి నేను. ఆన్సర్స్ అనే అరేస్ లోపల నాకు టైప్ ఉంది, వాటి యొక్క డేటా ఐడి ఉంది. I can traverse it from there. That's what my intention. Okay. So for that, we have done creating these whole statements, and let's check it out. Okay. Let me just run it again. When I server, I'm getting the response. Wait for a few seconds. And now let's enter the first warning. Let's see how the warning looks like. So I didn't enter any extension of .com, which is not a domain. I'm just entering a text, right? So if I press enter, I'm getting an unexpected error. This error needs to be caught what I have mentioned earlier. This error needs to be caught in a Servlet itself. So if the entered domain is not under the list of search, anyways, the APIs in this API, we are searching for a domain, not for a board. So this domain needs to have an extension of .com or else something. Anyways, we are having this www.com. This extension needs to be there for to search. So that error needs to be caught using this catch exception. Okay. And let's enter with an .com also. Let me take a sports application. We are having star sports, right? Yeah. So the star sports is broadbanding through an IP address of 180.179.171.171.170. It is actually a dummy data, I can say. But the privated versions we can't hack. If you are hacking is in the sense you are working as you are working under a dark web, it seems. Okay. So we started off creating a nothing to an extent, but the second part would be like we can have a database connectivity for it as well. So someone person has come and searched for a domain for hacking purpose and all. You need to store that IP addresses. For that, we need to have an database management system called JDBC included in our view. So where you can include that part in your Servlet code, and upon సో నేను ఏదైతే ఎంటర్ చేసుకొని సెర్చ్ చేసుకుంటున్నానో ప్రతి వాల్యూస్ అనేవి కూడా నేను డేటాబేస్ లోకి పుష్ చేసుకోగలుగుతా. దట్స్ వాట్ మెయిన్ ఇంటెన్షన్ హియర్. ఓకే, అండ్ లెట్స్ టేక్ this level of part 2 of JDBC in the next video. Okay, and again I'm saying follow the PacketPrep website in our YouTube channel where you can see, and let me just show you once. Yeah, you can check this PacketPrep and more interesting logics. You can subscribe to our channel, and we are having lots of playlists as well. Okay, and thanks for watching, and hope you have all enjoyed this video, and you are having any doubts, you can get back to us at any point of time. Thank you.